Hi folks, welcome to the Prepared Homestead. This is Travis. Thank you all for stopping by to watch. It is an absolute beautiful morning. Yesterday it was rainy, drizzly rainy, nothing storms or anything, just like a constant, almost drizzly, misty, cloudy day. Ended up getting kind of cool last night, and it's in the 50s this morning. This is amazing. Just mornings like this are just, I don't know, exciting for me. I love it. Oh, hopefully my message today can be uplifting and not doomsday-ish, because I'm talking about the doom and gloom going on, but I want to kind of turn it into a positive. And because folks like you and I, we are aware of things that's going on. And sure, there's all those out there that are still asleep. They will remain asleep, many of them, through the whole thing until it's far too late to do anything about it when they do wake up. But for those of us that are awake, we get it. We know that we have to get ourselves ready. Sometimes we just need to hear that encouraging word to kind of bring us together and give us some motivation to move a little bit faster. I mean, we live in troubled times. There's no way to argue around that, at least in my mind. When you see the things that's going on, I don't know how many of you saw the happenings this weekend in Washington, D.C. If you have the stomach to handle it, it's certainly not anything a child should view, but you can get online, you can get on Twitter especially, and just do some searches for the DC Pride Parade or DC Pride. And I mean, I've seen some pretty horrific things, some grotesque things. I've seen just things that most people shouldn't look at, shouldn't see in real life. And I'm telling you, this just about tops it all for me. I mean, it's way up there. And it's not just that it's hypersexualized and all this trans, gay, all that kind of stuff. It's very overtly attacking the Christian faith. There were a lot of different things that were going on that were mocking God, mocking Jesus, a lot of it. And does that mean that the world is ending? No, I think it means that we are right where we're supposed to be when it comes to the times that are coming to an end. And we're watching not just I would guess we could say the technical side of our society, you know, the economy and the war and the supply chain and energy and all these things that are just becoming worse and worse. They're unraveling more and more. But we're seeing the culture of America turn and attack itself, much like sometimes in an autoimmune disease, you know, where the body kind of attacks itself. That's what we're seeing. We're watching the culture of America, the culture of the West, being so perverted and twisted that it's attacking its own self. And everything that's been just the bedrock of what we are, who we are as a society, is being absolutely destroyed. There is a coming struggle. I don't know how you could see all this and see the division that's forming and the violence and the anger towards folks like you and I, towards traditional values, moral principles, biblical truths. There's such a deep-seated anger, and you might think that this is a little too much, but I believe it's true. It's all satanic. It's all demonic forces being thrown at this civilization, this culture, because how should I put it? We was talking about it yesterday. My wife and I did a live stream on the locals group. So if you're part of that or want to be part of that, I think it was a really good one. But I talked a little bit about it then. But we're seeing this destruction that has to happen. It has to happen for not just for biblical prophecies to be fulfilled, but we're watching this new world order. I mean, I guess just say it. The new world order has been being developed for a long time, and the only real way for this new world order to completely be in control, to completely be running things, when you look at the things that they're talking about, what they're doing, it's in every possible way the exact opposite of how God wants us to live, of how we see in the Bible how we're taught to behave and live. And this new reset, this agenda that they have been pushing for a while, been developing for years and years, it really can't exist side by side with a biblical worldview that says that all these things, that the new view is wrong. And so they have to destroy the old. They have to destroy anything that has any connection whatsoever to biblical truths, godly principles, family values, traditional moral standpoint, all of that. It has to be destroyed. And so that's what we're seeing happen. And I think that really, for me personally, that's the core of it. The wars, the US dollar losing value and being de-dollarized, the economy in general, the debt, the wars and rumors of wars, so on and so forth, supply chain things, crop failures, food insecurity issues, all of that. Just the general turmoil and violence. I get it, the bad stuff sells in the news. I get it. But the fact is that there's just more and more of it. The statistics, the numbers show it. There's just more turmoil, more chaos, more violence, more anger, more meanness everywhere. That is all to completely disrupt and destroy. It's so that at some point they can say, well, see, these old traditions, they don't work anymore. They don't work. They're not, saying that we're a godly nation and we, go by biblical principles isn't keeping our society in check anymore. We gotta destroy this, and we've got to build up something new. And guess what? We already have something worked out. We have this new thing. Yes, we have a new God, this artificial intelligence, and then those that created it, those elites, they're kind of like gods too. We can make you live forever, or at least make you think you can. We can create life. We can do all these things, and many people will accept it. Many people already have. This is really the world that we are coming into. Probably already have come into it. But to say that we live in troubled times is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of obvious, I guess you could say. The struggle is coming. At some point, there's going to be either some type of physical overt conflict between the traditional, conservative, biblically moral truth people and the people that are trying to change everything. Or those of us that are the traditional folks, we're going to find ourselves in a fight for existence, a fight to live. And so we have to start circling the wagons, folks. Said that so many times on here. That's why I talk about, getting your houses in order. It's building and establishing systems, both ideological, physical, and especially spiritual systems around you and your family and your community to protect from this. I think that's why that even though the system that's being developed, this new culture and everything, says the opposite, there are more and more men waking up and realizing what their real duties are. There are more and more families, albeit not enough, but still some, that are waking up that it's not just good enough to go to church every once in a while and occasionally read our Bibles. They're waking up to realize that we have to be solid. We have to be unshakable when it comes to our beliefs, when it comes to hiding the word in our heart. We're seeing people realize that it's no more sitting on the fence kind of thing, that you can't be gray anymore in this world. You have to be one thing or the other. You have to be either in the world or completely disassociated with it, because things are just becoming that evil. And for folks like you and I to get ready for that, it's a lot of work, okay? Because it's preparing everything. It's not just preparing our food, stacking and stocking. It's not just that. It's not just developing the skills and the techniques to become self-sufficient. It's not just gardening. It's not just having some chickens. It's not just developing our physical skills, getting our bodies in better shape, developing tactics and learning how to, whether it's work on things on your own, butcher your own animals, or know how to use the weapons to defend them. We have to do that stuff too. And we also have to turn a grand focus towards dedicating ourselves in a much grander way to truth, to biblical truths, and to being as sanctified as we can, being as dedicated to God as we can. Because the times that we're in, these days that are yet to come, it's not going to be like we've probably ever seen before. We're kind of already getting a taste of that. We see that their tolerance is really intolerance. Their equity is inequality. They're wanting to be diverse and inclusive is really kind of code words for completely destroying, eliminating, and getting rid of anything that has any semblance to biblical, traditional moral values. And we have to get ready for it, you and I. If you don't, you're probably just going to get consumed into it or fall away. If you want to be able to survive it, be able to help your children get through it, to give them the teachings and the strength to make it through it, and then we're going to have to do a lot of the things that I talk about. Really kind of circling those wagons, gathering together people of like mind so that we can have our own little communities of sort, whether they be all on the same property or just geographically located near enough so that they can help each other, so that we can be there for each other, so that there can be a safe place, not to use kind of a liberal term, but a safe place so that our children can be around others like them and not be worried about learning and seeing things that of ungodly nature. For our families, the men can be around each other and be supported in manly ways, encouraged. So the women, the wives, they can be around others like them and have a place to talk and to express themselves freely amongst other women that are living the same life. This is all very important part of what we're doing, because all of this mockery, this debauchery, this sinful stuff that they're pushing at us visually right now, in our faces, towards our children, it's everywhere. At some point, it's going to become more forcefully pushed on us, to the point that if you don't accept this, if you don't do these things, then you're not just narrow-minded and all of these things, you're also a criminal. And we have to prepare ourselves for that. These days that I speak of, I don't really think they're that far off. I mean, it could be a few years, but I don't think they're decades. I don't think they're centuries away. I think these times and days that I speak of are within our lifetime. I could be wrong. I hope that I'm wrong. Do you think I want my children living in a world that we see today? Of course not. But we have to be prepared for that. We'd be fools to see all of this, to see what's happening, to see how it's playing out and how it's moving so rapidly, and not do anything about it. That's where we would be fools. You know, what happens to us in the end if we're wrong about the timelines? Well, we just become stronger family units. We become stronger believers. We become stronger people. I don't really see a negative to any of it. We've got to start making these choices and movements in our lives and our families to get us all ready to realize that we need to lean up. We need to cut the fat out of our lives, out of our purview, the things that we are doing. Some of it needs to just be cut out. Maybe even some of the people that we associate with. We need to lean up and get ready, because there's some dark days coming. The struggle ahead is going to be real in a way I think that most people can't fathom. It's time to get your houses in order, folks. Preparing mentally, physically, and spiritually. Thank you for watching. Catch you in the next video.